course.
And now, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda commences tonight's satsang with the Sanskrit peace chant.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We begin with mystic song by Sri Swami Lalitananda, played and sung by Sri Swami Umananda and Rajneesh.
Our song tonight is called O Holy Mother Ganges.
I saw you shining in the early morning sun, with your sparkling waters flowing on, reflecting the clouds in the sky. The trees touch with you, dance in the Himalayan breeze, while the peacocks call to spring. Carry me in your arms to the sea of eternity. Sweet river Ganges, just as you uproot unbending trees in your swift current, take my pride and ego away, away. May I be like the bamboo trees, bending in adoration and love. Carry me in your arms to the sea of eternity. Holy Mother Ganges, may I be free forever. For centuries the sannyasis with folded hands pray in the moonlight on the silvery sands, while your cool waters swirl and surge over rocks, giving a
We are recording from the ashram of our revered Guru, Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda in Miami, Florida. Today is January the 12th, 2021, Tuesday evening, and tonight Swamiji will be lecturing on the Yoga Vasistha. This is series 2018, class number 305. And now Pujya Atman Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Gyan Murtim Dvandvatihitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatihitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adoration to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha Nirvana Prakarana Purvardha, Section 45 is concluding. The topic is the self. Not the ego self, the absolute self. Who am I? That's the central theme of Vedantic study. When I is fully revealed, that's liberation. When your I has become trapped in a realm of illusion, you say, how can the I be trapped? Every day you experience it. In dream, your I gets trapped. You become a different personality with different problems, within a different set of near and dear ones. You can even become a bird flying in your dream. So, where is your self? So whatever you think of yourself is as distant as your dream experience. You need to wake up from your dream. So there is a big distance between ego self and the real self. And bridging this distance, speaking allegorically, is your sadhana for attaining enlightenment. The self is within and without. So thinking of the self has two aspects. Who am I? You start first looking at your body, but the deeper reality in your body is the vital forces, pranas. The deeper reality within the pranas is mind, and mind set. Deeper reality is unconscious, subconscious, and when unconscious is cleaned up of all its impressions, is nothing but pure consciousness. So, looking inwardly, you lead to a profound understanding. I am neither body nor mind, immortal self am I. Looking externally, all objects of the world have 5 ingredients: asti, bhati, priya, name and form. Asti, bhati, priya is same as existence, consciousness, and bliss. That's instinctive reality in every individual. Birds, animals, human beings, all work with asti, bhati, and priya. Asti means existence. You are constantly trying to exist. Bhati, you are not existing in a passive way. You want to shine. You want to have power, dominate over people around you in a loving way or in an egoistic way, whichever way. But you need to interact with people. And we need to shine. And priya, you need to fulfill what is cherished desire in your heart. Birds, beasts, fishes, they are all eager to have their cherished desire fulfilled. But behind all these, the source is that in reality, every soul is Sat-Chit Ananda. Souls are like reflected suns. The real soul is the sun. But countless souls, they are countless jivas in different bodies. And each jiva, no matter how a reflected sun may be very small, very limited, nevertheless, it has 3 instincts: exist, shine, and experience a sense of fulfillment, joyousness. Sat-Chit Ananda being veiled by name and form. Names and forms are mental projections. Conditioned mind has created the illusion of name and form. You buy a house, it has a form before you. Then you give a name to it. Name exists in your mind, a concept. Form is as if external. So, Sat-Chit Ananda are dominated by the illusions of names and forms. They result countless jivas evolving through the world process. Every jiva is that absolute self. It is the power of the self that manifests in the form of the lake of the world process. Conditioned by time, with karmas as the crocodiles, passage of time as the waves, living beings as the bees that hum on the lotuses that bloom in the form of the sun, moon, and stars. It's a highly allegorical description. Pure consciousness, Brahman, is like a lake. All the world experience is like reflections in consciousness. Reflections are conditioned by time, space, and causation. So reflections have their crocodiles, and they are always shifting, transient. And behind those reflections, the highlights are sun, moon, and stars. They all reflect within the lake. Thus, though one without a second, this self is imagined by the ignorant in different ways. It's the same self, but every mind goes after the self. Every mind has developed its own identity. Every soul has its own special identity. And that's what you go after when you say, I am. But the real I am is far from it. The I am in a pot of water is a reflected sun. The real sun is the real sun, not reflected. In fact, it is neither one nor more than one. Now that absolute self, if you describe it one, that always implies there are many, and you are distinguishing one from many. In other words, you cannot use any mathematical precision, because what you consider mathematical precision through your mind is limited, is not real precision. It's created by your mind. In your dream, you passed a mathematics examination. You did everything with great precision. Wake up, what happened to all your precision? And where are your examination papers? In brief, that Brahman cannot be described in the terms of numbers. Transcendental. It is indescribable reality, devoid of internal and external differentiations. Section 46. Brahman compared to a painting in a rock. In so many ways, the Yoga Vasistha is allowing your mind to practice vichar. And the central feature of vichar is inquiry into who am I. And it is a blend of affirmation, intellectualization, and profound meditation. All that go together in the practice of vichar. Now, there is a great rock, soft because it is the basis of love. Pure consciousness is being presented to you allegorically as a great rock. How great, you can't imagine. But don't make your mind feel that it is all stony. It's soft. It's a mass of softness. Because it is of the nature of absolute love. Self-effulgent. The sun doesn't need to reveal itself by any light. You don't take a flashlight to see the sun. Sun is self-effulgent. In the same manner, the essential nature is self-effulgent. When you wake up from your dream, you know that you are awake. You don't ask anybody, am I dreaming or am I awake? It is self-effulgent reality. But that's a simple illustration. The source of joy, infinite, impervious, and immutable. All these points are meant to allow your mind to meditate. Meditate upon the sky. Myself is like the sky. I am the sky. If you are the sky, all things that happen in the world are like clouds. Is the sky upset by clouds? No matter what type of news they bring and break it across the firmament? No. The sky is just untouched. So, deep down, essentially, you are untouched, ever untouched. How many lives you have gone through, how many tortures and how many exciting conditions. But your I am is still with you. That I am awaits for you to be recognized. That I am has not been disturbed. No scratch has come upon it. That I am is my real I am. All this becomes a form of Vedantic meditation. Similarly, you meditate upon I am, ocean of bliss. I am immutable. Within that rock there abides the lake of the mind, wherein the lotuses in the form of diverse worlds bloom. Rock and the painting on the rock, that's the simile being given. Paintings can go on changing, but rock has nothing to do with your paintings. Put a painting of a great lion, rock remains calm. Put the painting of a great hawk or a donkey, rock remains the same. Put a painting of a colorful festival scene, or put a painting of a hellish picture. The rock is a rock, unaffected by paintings. Screen is unaffected by projections. Similarly, the I am is a rock of pure awareness called Chidghan. Rock of pure awareness. And that's what I am. I am. That's what you are. That's the reality behind everything in this world. These lotuses are of different types. Some are fully bloomed. Some are half bloomed. Some have their faces drooping downwards. These are all reflections or paintings. Some are clustered together, and some are far apart from each other. Whatever may be your painting, these are the paintings that you can decorate a rock. But rock is unaffected by your painting and whatever you are bringing out through your paintings. That rock is your consciousness. Your consciousness means the absolute consciousness. Brahman is a mass of indivisible consciousness. Term indivisible. The sun cannot be split up. Truth cannot be split up. Pure consciousness cannot be divided or cut up into pieces. Just as a sculptor considers a rock as the basis of his diverse sculptures, in the same way Brahman is the basis for innumerable worlds. These worlds are mental in nature. Maneva Manushyanam, they are all mental projections. And therefore, their existence in the rock does not bring about any differentiation in the material of the rock. So all this is projected on the screen of your consciousness. And your consciousness, like a rock on which all this is like painting, that rock-like consciousness is unaffected. It is due to the force of cosmic illusion that worlds are seen to exist in this indivisible and immutable rock of Brahman. In spite of the appearance of diverse creations, the self is indivisible, immutable, and infinite. When you look at the world, see countless jivas, and allow your mind to work in another dimension. Look at countless stars. Understand there are millions and trillions of earth planets that are not in your view. And they are all inhabited by countless souls. But the reality behind all those souls is the self, your own real I am. Just as reflections of trees or drifting clouds do not cause any internal differentiation in the homogeneity of a lake, When you look into reflection, so many things go on. A bird may be flying from one tree to the other. Stars twinkle in your lake. All that goes on. But the lake remains undifferentiated by all these reflections, with homogeneity. In the same way, the existence of multiplicity of the world process does not cause differentiation in Brahman. Just as different shapes and forms are discovered in a rock, in the same way, innumerable beings are discovered in the rock of Brahman. They are discovered as paintings created by mental projections. All these names and forms are nothing but the rock of Brahman, the rock of pure awareness, Chidghan. Just as the presence of her beloved husband exists in the mind of a chaste wife, or just as the pulp exists in the bilwa fruit, in the same way, this world process exists in Brahman. All these allegorical. Brahman lovingly holds the entire world process, because everything in this world process is Brahman. The numerous objects of the world exist in the form of mental projections. They do not exist as realities. They exist as mirages in a desert, or blueness in the sky, or visions in a dream, or imaginations of the mind. Any name and form can be discovered in the rock of Brahman. The mind can dream of anything according to its unconscious movements and make it seem real. You don't have to work. Day by day you have countless dreams. And every day so many things become so real, and they are not even surreal. They're absolute illusions. But when one directs one's attention, directs one's intuitive vision towards the objects of the world, they disappear. When you wake up, all your dreams disappear. Similarly, every object, when seen through a discerning vision, turns into Brahman or the Absolute. Section 47. Brahman as a mass of consciousness. The same theme is further elaborated. Try to understand consciousness is easy to understand. You cannot experience anything without consciousness. You are hearing these words and you are conscious of your hearing. And you are conscious of losing some part of that you wanted to hear. Gain and loss, you are conscious of all those. You are conscious of so many experiences But what is the invariable entity in your variable states of consciousness? Pure consciousness. Absolute awareness. Absolute awareness is like a vast lake, infinite lake. All the relative awareness that emanate from your mind, intellect, ego, senses, all these relative awareness, they are simply reflections. Pure awareness remains untouched, unaffected. But what we are leading you to understand, try to develop a subtle sensitivity to separate yourself from all that you are aware of through your mind and senses. Separate yourself from being an individual in this world process, caught in a particular predicament, your near and dear ones, your family, your past, present, and future. All this and your limited personality, they are simply illusions. I am none of this. I am pure awareness. Every little awareness is pointing the finger to pure awareness. And that has to be promoted. Though non-dual, this pure consciousness appears as the world of multiplicity. Though ever unagitated, it assumes the role of the individual soul, caught in the world of agitations. Without agitation, you must understand everyone is in a world of agitation. Nothing stays the same. Everything passes on. But all that happens, all that is experienced through time, space, consciousness, all this is illusion. Underlying this illusion, there is pure consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi is the mantra guiding the soul to the revelation of pure consciousness. This consciousness is like the philosopher's stone, which can grant any desire of an individual. First, to understand, every desire that is fulfilled is in the realm of reflection. Or in the realm of paintings. So, but all your desires, because whatever you are fulfilled in the realm of projection, that's called bhava pratyaya. Whatever you are experiencing when the cinema shows goes on is the projections on the screen. So there is a difference between the screen and projections on the screen. screen is pratyaya bhav. Where projections are transcended, where projections don't exist. Absence of projections, that is screen. Pure consciousness is the absence of mental thought waves. But relative consciousness is bhav pratyaya, presence of projection. It's a subtle point that aspirants need to go on understanding. The difference between experiences in a dream and then a state of awakening. Difference between experiences in a cinema show and when the show is over. There's nothing but the screen. Difference between mind gripped by ignorance. The entire world process becomes reality because of ignorance. When ignorance is removed, there's nothing but the absolute self. Brahman. The world exists as a dewdrop in the vast expansion of pure consciousness. Think of the world, how big it is. But from advanced point of view, no matter the entire Earth planet, and millions of years behind it is nothing but a little dewdrop, a dust particle in the vastness of the cosmos. But that's allegorical way of describing. Even all those, that description is in a different level. Consciousness, pure consciousness is beyond descriptions. How many dreams will come out of your soul, you cannot imagine. How many experiences of world systems you may have. You put millions of them together and mathematically compare with pure consciousness. All that you have put together is just a drop. Even drop is just a void. Unreality, no matter how voluminous it may be, adds up to zero. Mirage, no matter how big it is, add up all the mirages of the world, and it is zero. The entire world process is zero. That's what Buddha emphasized. Shunyavad. The consciousness that underlies the mind of an individual creates and dissolves the world process. Such as the sun continues to create day and night. Just as waves, ripples, whirlpools, and the undercurrents are mere sportive manifestations of the ocean. In the same way, this world is merely a sportive manifestation of pure consciousness. Now you are giving a little spicing in your practice of reflection. The spicing is, when you think of all this world and experience so many things, allow your mind to understand that this is Leela of Brahman, this is Leela of God. Leela means a sportive manifestation. Same dream, when you develop a little awareness, it is a dream, it's still while dreaming. You go through the same dream now like a sport. People in a sport go through lots of things. They are knocked down, their necks get broken up, their bodies get scratched. But they emerge, blaming nobody. It was their sport. Similarly, all your experiences are the sport of God. And as the soul joins with God, you begin to have the similar, in other words, that little insight has to enter. The world around you is a sport, so deported a nice way. It's not a dangerous sport. Like images reflected in a mirror, or a picturesque landscape reflected in a placid lake. The world is reflected in pure consciousness. No matter whatever situation it is, try to see, enjoy a sportive vision. How miraculous it is that a lake catches all that goes on in the sky. The bird, whole flock of birds fly, and the lake has caught it. This phenomenon of scenes reflected in a lake. Similarly, your lake is pure consciousness. In that, all what your mind builds up is reflected in pure consciousness. How wonderful. You don't have to go anywhere. Wherever you are, enjoy this scene. A flock of birds flying, and where are we looking at? Is the lake. And we're looking at, go a little step further. We're looking at the lake and the sky, both, and being amused. How things are real up there and how things look in the lake. This is subtle picture of anasakti, detached life. And it is developed progressively. You cannot suddenly develop a sense of sportive experience in your life. But gradually you can allow that vision to grow. Like images reflected in a mirror, or like a picturesque landscape reflected in a placid lake. This world is reflected in pure consciousness, which is ever untouched by the objects of the duality and multiplicity of existence. A mirage is taken to be a placid lake by deer that have wandered too far from the forest. In the same way, this world is experienced as a reality by those souls who have wandered away from their essential nature due to ignorance. You don't go wander, understand. You distance yourself from yourself through the illusion created by your own mind. The simple illustration, your dream. And little more thoughtful illustration, think of how your thoughts take you from one condition to another in the fragment of a moment. And with this I conclude. Om Ram 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayers. May Karunamaya Ras grace of God shower over all of you with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Are there any questions tonight?
Pranam Gurudev. Gurudev, you talked about affirmation, intellectualization, and meditation. There's 3 steps in vichara. So, affirmation would be one of the 4 noble tools, like I'm Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, etc.
Affirmation is creating a positive imagery. Just like you make a trip, you want to have a little Kailash Yatra, then you start imagining. They will come to the mountain, they will come to the beautiful river or lake. So all this goes on exciting your mind. You have not come to the real place, but your mind is being filled with excitement. That's a visualization. The visualization keeps your whole journey saras and joyous. Worldly visualization, when you are worried, and that also is visualization. But it is of a negative type. So that's the meaning of visualization.
And Gurudev, the intellectualization, is that?
Intellectualization is again every time you visualize, along with it comes your intellect. Have I come to the mountain? First you are visualizing how wonderful it will be when you will be climbing the mountain and aerial view. But then intellectually, you ask the one flying the plane, the captain of the plane, how long it will take. That's intellectualization.
Then Gurudev, you talked about meditation. Is that similar to going from relative consciousness, using relative consciousness, to pure consciousness?
Yes, so whenever a decisive point enters the mind, this is the goal, this is the truth, then let your mind just relax, do nothing. That's the process of meditation. Concentration is focusing, and focusing state becomes continuous, effortless, then called meditation. And when vichar is involved in it, then it's called nididhyasana. They are all together, they are synonyms.
I have one more question. You described watching the sky and the lake reflections together.
Mm-hmm.
How does that, in meditation, what is the
Not
analog?
in meditation. It is a vichar process. When you are studying a scripture, and even without studying, you sit back and reflect upon what you have studied. And when we say the imagery or the allegorical statement, think of a person watching the cinema show, involved in a drama, and then think of that state where drama is over, projection has stopped. Now you are seeing both. You are seeing the person caught in the excitement of the story, and at the same time you are seeing the end result, that all the excitement will be over. So both points are before your view. So that's what is implied by what I said. Now, put it in another angle. Deep down you develop a sensitive state of calmness, stillness. Stillness that is focusing on the world experience on one side and cessation of the world on the other side. Two angles. Put it still easier. The moment you have come to understand it is a dream, now you have two choices which automatically happen. You are still curious what's going on in your dream. At the same time, you know you are going to wake up. So your both scenes are operating, which has given you a better dimension for your entertainment. So that's the meaning.
Thank you, Gurudev.
Okay?